I'm like jittery and bubbling with excitement right now. And just to be with all of you. And Dawei and I are in the physical space. And I feel like I'm landing in a really different way. And I'm going to, try to manage that without losing my center here. But I'm really happy to see all of you. I keep thinking about like, oh, what are they going to think about this and all these little details. And I'm finding for myself that it's these little details that are really like hooking my joy for this project. And so I would like us to start off just as our opening question, thinking about these little details that might be exciting us. And I would love to hear from you or whoever would like to share one thing you're itching to learn or something you're hoping to explore. And this doesn't have to be your big thing. We're going to spend some time on that. But yeah, are there any like small projects or small things you're really excited to be practicing or learning? And so I would love to hear from anyone who have things coming up.
I want to invite play fight circles.
I've been hearing this word so many times, so I'm really excited to hear more.
Will you say the word again? I heard play.
Play fight.
Play fight. Okay, I'm not familiar. What is it?
It's a practice. The purpose is to connect through a game that is in which we fight physically. And it's non-verbal. And I discovered that we discover a lot of how we relate, how we are in connection with one another through reading it in the physicality, because then the circle mirrors what they saw and felt while the play fight was happening. And in this fight, there's a lot that comes out about how we relate. And I'm excited about practicing that with people who are who have some awareness of their gremlin, and yeah, with people who are in the PM game world. I'm interested in exploring that with you.
Thank you for explaining.
I can send you more information through the Playfight site if you're interested.
Sure. Thank you. I would love that.
Great. I'm glad.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you, Meredith, for sparkling with your joy here in this team. And before I say what I want to do here in this group, I want to just tell you where I am right now and what is going on, and to bring myself into the space, also not just writing, because I'm here for the first time, and someone of you I met before and someone I just see for the first time. For example, Jacqueline and Meredith. So I start with that. So after Vera sent that message, I called Vera to check in with her, and it ended up in a process where I found out that I have this fear. Like there are a lot of fears. Like one fear is to be lost, to just be lost and don't know what I really want to do, and to be everywhere. Fears coming from my child ego state, like, doing everything at the same time, not like also the fear of losing something, missing out of something. So okay, so what to do with that fears? I went to an emotional healing process. And what happened in that emotional healing process was that I I found out that I have my compass in my hand outside of me, like a pirate, you know, the from the Pirates of the Caribbean, where the compass is just every time turning around and I just don't know where it really is. And the process was about putting an inside of me. And I put it first like my, yeah, on the way in the middle of my center and my heart. And now my compass jumped here, like near of my talisman, because somehow my center is connected really to my fear. Like this is always in connection, in communication with my fear. And what I'm experiencing right now is to, okay, is that what I'm doing in alignment with my being or not? Like to let every impulse come through my compass and to be that right now, and this is new for me, so I'm training and practicing that, and also finding tools how to what is if my compass jump out again, like and what to do, how can I do it there again, how can, like, yeah, I'm really having, like, I'm trying out a bunch of experiments, and if you're interested, just let me know, because I want to have more conversations about compasses. So what I have right now from this meeting right now, or what I want right now, what is the next step here with this group for me, is to be in contact with you. Because my plan right now is to not go to the Magic Cow Bridge House for now, can change, for now, after the labs in Poland. I will just, there is also a fear that I had, is the fear that no one will come to Brazil, because I went to Brazil to build something here, and I'm in this magical space, and everyone is like waiting for, it seems like the place is inviting me, that something will happen right now. And I felt fear, okay, I cannot hold space for that. I cannot, people will not come if I invite them. And not believing that this is, and seeing that this is a story and this is not true, that I'm capable to do that. I will stay, and I would love to be in communication with you, and to know how it goes, like I'm starting something here, you are starting something there, and to also be part of it, and to learn from you, and may also to come to, for, I don't know, you can just, sense if that is in alignment with you. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Isabel.
Thank you, Isabel.
You are muted, Dawi.
Thank you. And I'm very interested in hearing about what you're finding about your compass. And yeah, will you write in our Telegram group what you're experimenting with?
Yes, I'm writing an article right now, and I would post it in the next 4 days. So I would just write.
Thank you.
So, and to go on with Meredith's question, I want to collaborate with you, like really to have check-ins with you, and to learn with you, and also to how does it look like for you to collaborate with me? What is it like, and how do we do that? And what does that mean?
Thank you.
One thing that's coming up for me, Isabel, is that I hear that you want to create something there in Brazil with people. And
Yeah.
I was in Brazil and I considered going there where you are. And I didn't. I came to Israel. And I can share feedback of what happened in me that I decided not to go there. And I maybe it can be valuable for you. And I don't think this is the space for that. And I can share feedback about that to as a way to collaborate with you. Would you like that?
Yes.
I'm glad.
I'll share joy about two things that have been coming up for me. One is, well, it's all really about just starting to explore tourist technology. It's bringing up so many things on personal fronts, on learning new tools like this Padlet, and which I loved, and it was so fun to create. And thank you again. Is it Dorothea or Dorothea? How do you prefer to be addressed?
Both is possible.
Okay.
I don't care.
Thank you for clarifying. Yeah, so Dorothea dropped the suggestion last week and it was so fun to explore creating it. And yeah, I really enjoyed just learning a new tool. And then, but that's couched inside of learning the new tools of tourist technology. And so I'm really seeing how I'm like holding myself accountable in my interactions with different people related to the Bridge House and in and around it, of like really being excited to study it, and even just seeing how I'm, yeah, just learning new words and learning new concepts that I did not know before. And I'm just, yeah, seeing myself sort of seeping into it and it seeping into me, and I'm really enjoying learning it, and I'm feeling joy about it. That's it.
Mm.
Thank you. Thank you, Jacqueline.
You guys, I had this amazing opportunity to fly into Boston and then drive to Jacqueline's for her birthday party. So I went to Jacqueline's childhood home where she lived since she was 1 year old, and got to meet her parents and everything. And we had a really, really like deep, just like intimate time with some of her dear friends. And I had brought one of my friends, Amber, who I've been talking about with PM with forever. Like she's like on that edge of just diving fully in. Like she's already, conceiving her gremlin we talk about these things all the time, although she's never done any of the things in the spaces. So at the end of the evening, it was Jacqueline, Amber, and I sitting in this like open tent in Jacqueline's front yard, looking at stars and just like talking about tourist technology. Like it was, I just feel so much joy. It's like pouring out of me because yeah, I mean, Amber doesn't really know, so she's asking these questions, and it's like Jacqueline and I are like, well, okay, we know some things, but we don't know. We're just gonna, and the sharing that went on, and then kind of having this aha moment, maybe right now, or maybe I was aware of it at the time that the three of us were like doing tourist technology in this tiny way, like the map. I love the map of tourist technology, and I just like felt the energy kind of like pouring out, like if we were like the little 3 cell, and it was just like we were just creating a space that was like, yeah, this energetic loop of talking about it, trying to figure out what it meant, asking questions about what it meant, and just doing it. So I was like, wow, I think I see tourist technology in this different way too. Like it can happen in like a little group at a party in the front yard, and or it's just this, yeah, it has this kind of life to it that I'm really also so joyful to continue to explore with Jacqueline and Tamara. And it seems mysterious in a way, like there's this mystery about it, and it seems so tangible and like present, right now in this meeting, and just being with you, Jacqueline, and with Amber. So I just wanted to share that little side note that I got to see Jacqueline in this completely different context, and there we were, like in a tiny tourist technology map. I felt spending time together. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to share. And as far as these little details, this is actually maybe what will also make the house irresistible. So I don't, it's kind of a both situation, but I just feel impulsed to talk about it right now because I just came out of 2 EHPs, and one of them was like traveling back to this time where I was like a witch. And I see this common thread in these EHPs that are happening around me or that I'm in, that like I'm really trying to be careful of not saying the word we. I just want to put that out there. So if I'm pausing, it's because like I know I could say us, but I'm really trying to not say we. And I'm just starting to get that distinction. But like I think a lot of us had this like similarity of like in the past being pushed down, tortured for who we were. And I had this experience today where I went back into that, and so it's important for me that the space be a place of witchcraft. And for me that means like mostly working with plants, drying, like foraging if possible, having jars of different dried plant medicines that we can be experimenting with our own tea blends, and drinking together, and getting to know, because we're just sitting with plants to start out with, but something where there's this like journey that we go on together of, yeah, creating an apothecary and being green witches in that way together, and nourishing our bodies in that way together. So that's what I wanted to share.
Thank you, Beth.
Thank you, Beth.
Thank you, Beth.
My joy and also my edge right now is that you all already know that I have this art project, and I had one last year as well, and I want to make it a team and work with 4 people, and it ended up that I have been alone and made just everything by myself because everything broke down. The people were kind of run away out of the tourist technologies, were really scared them, and so I was not able to hold that people in my team, which was like really drama for me because I had this longing to have that team. And the project itself was about networking, and that worked really well. So I was really happy about that. But now in the new project, so today I finalized my team. I have two possibility manager in my team, which I have a lot of joy about that. And I have a lot of fear about that because, yeah, so I'm the space holder and leader of that team. And yeah, there's this joy of all this support, and there is this fear that I could fail or that I could make something wrong, or that other possibility manager that maybe have more experience think, what is she doing? Or I don't know. So there is still, I mean, I trust them, and there is a part in me that doesn't trust them, that they always will be on my side and support me, and not going in superior if I fail or something like that. So it's not that I want to put this assumption on them. It's just a fear that is, if I'm honest with me, it's still there, that this can happen. And I'm glad that I have a team and I have another chance to find out what works, what doesn't work. And yeah, I will navigate my fear together with my joy. Yeah. And another thing where I'm happy is that that was like coincidence that I came to this couple training. It actually was a training about inner authority. And then the woman couldn't be part to that date. And I told her, okay, if she find people, we can make another date. And at the end, it turned out that this will be for couples. And I'm really bad in relationship with a love partner. So I was like, oh my God, they come to me as a trainer for couples, and I was not able to hold my own partnership. But at the end, when the workshop was over, they asked me to continue. So the full group now continues monthly with me. And I was really so happy about that. And today was the first call after the official training. And I feel just so much joy to experimenting with them. And yeah, another things are coming up now as EHP Skills Lab and Dojo, and also Sadness Club, which is like a lot of new things who kind of come to me. It was not that I was choosing them, they chose me. And I said, okay, yes. So this is really, really all edge work, but to the same time, my way to plan these things is just to have open eyes, and all the hints and experiments and material I need is just coming to me. So I fully can trust that all I need and all I have to know will just appear. I just have to recognize it and put it in my planning, in my planning notes. And so it's kind of developing through me. It's really like another force in my back. And this is such a big trust that I do what Echo is asking from me, and I do it with a lot of joy. Yeah, that's my address for now.
Thank you, Dorothea.
I'll go next. When Beth was speaking, I feel so excited for that. I feel so excited for. There's so much I don't know about. I guess technopreneuriophobia. That's the word. Those kind of skills, and slowly over the past few years I've been kind of learning this and that, learning ferment stuff and pickle stuff, and there's I experience a kind of ecstasy doing that that is so fantastic. And right now I'm kind of collecting like a list of skills that I want to learn, but I want to learn and do together things like everybody learning how to actually, this was also inspired by Beth, everyone learning how to tie knots, like a knot tying party where everyone
Yeah.
learns how to tie 10 different kinds of knots. I want to build a birdhouse with you guys. I'm really looking forward to building or working together with people on the greenhouse and um, the dry compost toilet. And yeah, Dawe also had mentioned something, possibly building like a boat or something together. So having a bunch. Oh, also I want to learn how to suture wounds.
Oh yeah.
I want to do all of that with people, and I'm really looking forward to having types of spaces that are really about just pure hard skills, building hard skills with people, because so much I think of what we're going to be doing and practicing is like soft skills and kind of energetic stuff and working together emotionally. And anyway, I'm really looking forward to both participating and then also just holding space for that to happen in the bridge house. And another thing is I love the film Spaceship Earth, and I think I've recommended it to everybody, and then I keep watching it. And one of the most amazing things that happens in that film is just before this group of people is about to do a big project, they put on they're always doing theater. They put on this that's about all the things that can go wrong in the project. And the play ends up with them all dying, but it's like all the unconscious underworld stuff all comes out on the table in this sort of theater. And I've never done theater in my life, and I've kind of like dismissed it in a way. And just as part of why I love that film is because it really it speaks to stuff beyond my very practical box of what makes sense, and wakes up the fun that I think is possible in spaces and in Bridge House and in doing projects together. So I'm looking forward to theater. I have no idea how to hold space for doing theater things together, and I'm looking forward to finding out. And part of why I'm extra glad Dorothea is going to be with us and others.
I want to tell Leslie about this idea. Leslie, because so the legend goes, in her previous communities of like 40 or 50 people, like large communities, she used to hold space for like an annual community play, and everyone in the community would have a role. So,
oh wow, cool.
If we do this, I'll invite her to come up and join us. And what is the original prompt? What is my joy and what is my edge? Is that the prompt?
The prompt is, what's something you want to learn, or something you'd like to explore?
As Devin mentioned, I want to build a boat, but a very small boat. I want to build a canoe, because there's this pond, and it's not really a pond. It's a very large pond. Maybe it's technically a pond, but it's a very large pond. And Meredith took me on a ride. The property is so large, we have to ride a small vehicle to get there. She went so fast. At first, my hat blew off, and I had to hold her really tightly and tell her to slow down. And then I decided halfway through the ride to just drop into trust that she knows what she's doing, and we're not going to crash into a tree. But you ride this little vehicle on this road through the woods, and then all of a sudden we're at a pond, and there were like 5 or 6 what were they, Meredith? Egrets?
I think they're great blue herons.
5 or 6 great blue herons flying all around this pond. We saw like 2 different species of frog, one toad, a lot of slugs eating mushrooms, and we were there for like 5 minutes, and then I complained to Meredith that I was getting bit by mosquitoes, so I had her take me home. But in 5 minutes, we saw all of these animals, and the Meredith's father, the owner of this property, has asked, because we had a conversation with him, that in lieu of rent, in lieu of any financial compensation for the bridge house, that we each contribute some sort of project to make the house better. So it doesn't have to be a physical project, but it can be an art project, or it's really a very open thing. But just so that's in the space, there's this ask, and he said that he wants a canoe for the pond, and so I'm going to learn how to woodwork to make a canoe, and who knows if it'll float, but I'm excited. And then 2 other projects I'm really passionate about. One is to make snowshoes, and I want to hold space for us all to really do this together, or whoever wants to, but that we all build a pair of snowshoes for ourselves together, and then by the time the first snow comes, we can go snowshoeing around the property. And I think the second thing, or the third thing, which is not so physical, but is to really is I'm in a process of trying to blow up everything I know about space holding, about being with people, about possibility management, about radical responsibility. I've noticed myself getting in all of these different traps where it's like, okay, somebody is doing something, I don't want to rescue them, I don't want to whatever, I don't want to be manipulated, and it seems that the only thing I can do is be separate from them. And so I realized that I've sort of made these like whatever, I'm like in a tangled nest of what I think responsibility is, and it's no longer landing. It's no longer landing for me. It no longer makes me feel alive. And so I'm in a larger process of sort of pulling all of these threads out and reconstructing from my own authentic experience what I know about being with people. And that's going to be my experiment. That's my experiment on all of my calls right now, and it will be in this bridge house as well.
Thank you, Zoe.
Thank you, Zoe.
Thank you.
I want to say more things. I
Go.
will say thank you. I'm very liquid. I feel a lot of joy about the making witchy things and learning to heal ourselves with plants. And I said about the play fight, I'm also very excited to hold rage clubs and invite people from outside to rage club with us. And something I'm very excited about is also I'm experimenting with the shifting identity in chaotic spaces in the city, and making spaces extraordinary. And I want to do that with the team, because I feel joy to see how I can do it alone, how I've been doing it alone, and I can only imagine if we go as a team to the city, what can we do together? How can we transform like ordinary spaces into something else? I'm excited to explore that. I want to build a compost and a dry toilet. Compost is not my edge, dry toilet is my edge. And something that I'm experimenting with, and something about what you said in your purpose, Devin, touched me, and I feel joy about that, about how of not being stingy with love, I'm experimenting with like open the love pipe. Like I don't want to hold back on love, and I'm experimenting with asking people, can you do that again, say that again with more love? Like, is that, can you be more love right now? And I want to explore that with you. Just where am I holding back from love, and how can I open those pipes? And I want to share a fear that I've been feeling, that I have the story that you all have North American boxes, and I feel fear about like having a Latin box, and something about that is scary for me. I have some fear about that, of feeling like America. And I've been exploring with this.
Wait. Can you say more specifically the fear? Because I can imagine about it, but that's not real.
Yeah, thank you for asking. Okay, I have this story of American boxes, of everything being like, this is my ground income, like a little bit fake. These are stories, a little bit fake, and a little bit too much, like overplaying. I feel fear of saying this here to everyone who I'm judging that has a box. And there's something deeper. There's something that happens when I'm with people who I can speak Spanish to, or who are from southeastern spaces, and I feel at home. And in my experience of being in the States and in Canada, and I'm speaking from the past, I feel like, even being in the land, I feel like I'm not welcome here. And
Maria,
yes,
you are saying you feel home and you feel not welcome here. What is the feeling really?
like the one that is different.
Would you say what the feeling is?
Anger that you don't understand something about me.
So you say that this is anger. And check in within yourself. What is the feeling? Like, go one level deeper. You said at the beginning you feel fear. What is it? What can happen?
Like, I feel fear of wanting to escape.
Because
It's not the place for me. And as I say this, that can happen anywhere. And because people don't speak my language, and again, it doesn't make sense.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter if it makes sense or not, because it's another ego state, you know, but it's still some imagination that you have, how people are in different places. And it's, yeah, you know, it's just important to say it, to speak it out, how you are doing it right now, to just have clarity what is going on in you.
Yes, I want to explore deeper, and I'm sure that, I mean, I have the story that each piece will come. about it. And I want to do that before going there. And I feel with this commitment of going there, I feel joy to have decided to be there. And right now I feel like, of course, like that's the best thing that I could be doing in September. And I feel joy about that. That's all I have to say right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you, Maria. I have one more question for you, and it can just be for yourself. You don't need to answer here, but when you have this feeling of this place is not for me, is it an inner feeling, or is there some sort of imagined person or energy telling you this? And that's another area that I put on the table for you to explore.
Thank you. Thank you, David. I will be with that.
Thank you. I want to check, can you hear the sawing outside?
No.
Okay. Okay.
I can only hear the sign outside my window.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go. As I've been hearing all of these small stories or these small projects, these are what's been coming alive is like all of these seemingly disconnected things have been like exciting me. And as I've been reflecting, I'm noticing that they're all coming back to like deeply, like learning how to sink into the land. And one project that I'm really excited about and learning about is learning about the medicinal plants and the edible wild plants that are on the property. And we saw this exhibit at this Lakota museum on our road trip. And it was these pressed plants, and they were labeled and all of their uses and like what they can do, the different cycles, like parts like the flower, the important characteristics for identifying the plants they were pressed in these frames, and they covered the wall. And I was like, I want to do that. I want to figure out what plants are in this land. I want to press them and frame them and explore. And Beth, hearing all what you're wanting to explore, I'm just so lit up to hear this, because it's exactly what I'm so excited to be exploring. And it's coming to like, how can I be landing more in a space of being alive on the land. And I'm really wondering what that's going to be like. What would it be like to fully know a place? And I know we'll only be here for 3 months, but if I can give all of my attention to knowing this place, like it was the last place I'll ever be, what could it be like to live here? And so that's what I'd like to explore.
Thank you, Meredith.
Thank you. What came to me right now, listening to all of you, is that what I sense is a sadness, because I want to do that all as well. I like this. I sense your excitement and yeah, and what I sense, it's like the bridge house starts right now. It doesn't start. We have this imagination of the bridge houses starting in September, but it's starting right now. It's starting. It started already with you before, and yeah. So it's it's a place where you are already all holding space for. And yeah, what I'm asking myself is like, what do you want to create right now already together?
I want to create a space where we can be willing to like take the extra step because we cannot fail together. And to hold a space where we can take these risks because these failures aren't the old failing. They're not failing and disconnecting. It's failing and moving forward in a fun and encouraging way.
What do you mean by failing?
Yeah, I think it's these stories of good and bad and connecting them to what it's like I play the script before I try of, will I be able to do this? And a lot of times that story prevents me from trying because of this fear of failure. And the failure in the moment, yeah, is things not going how I planned. And so, yeah, that's interesting that it's like living in the future to be able to fail.
Yeah, there's something that's coming up for me, which is I feel a little bit of, I feel fear and anger about this question of what do we want to create together. And I think the anger's coming from, it feels like almost an impossible question. And I don't know if this is just my resistance to like not wanting to try to like define it so specifically, because I'm also aware of my box that likes definition. And yeah, and then there's like a fear of like, of not defining it or defining it. And if like, just, yeah, I keep having this question of how much structure and clarity is like necessary, because I feel like by living it, that's how we'll create it. Like we'll adapt to what's present, you know, like I feel like everyone's bringing their own, I don't know, desires and magic. And so Meredith's saying what she wants to create, that's what she wants. And then if like everyone else wants that, then we like bring that into the group and we embrace it together. And it feels like, again, the sort of breathing of the torus, like everyone brings individually what they want, and then we like absorb it into the whole or don't. And so I don't know how to like have one person say like, this is what we want to create together. And then also that also feels like somehow future planning, like, okay, this is the thing we're going to create, and we have to stick to that the whole time. And it becomes very like, you know, inorganic or not, like kind of rigid. And yeah, it's this anger and fears is almost about, yeah, how to navigate like possibility and non-linearity, and how much structure is necessary to like do it. That was what was coming up for me about it. And the fear is like, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. That's my fear, is like, I really don't know.
And that was to Isabel's question.
Yes.
I think I heard your question differently, Isabel, as more something like in this moment, or even yeah, right now together, what do we want with each other? And I'm noticing just being here in the space, and also last week, there's something where these calls, I really I get excited. There's something where getting together and talking about what we will create or what we want or something, it adds some kind of a fuel to my yes about being there, but in a way that's there. But there's also this other part that I'm longing for, which is that I'm getting, whatever this means, I'm getting to know you, and just getting to be with your, I mean, it's so crazy. Like, we're coming together to talk about what we really want. So in a way, I think I am getting a box and a gremlin when I'm here, but there's also something where I'm getting to be close to something very intimate and to share something intimate. And I want more of that. I really, something, yes, I'm wanting I don't quite know how to do it all the time, but I'm wanting a project where closeness is happening, and some of that for me means just being with people a lot. Yeah, so that's part of my purpose in these calls right now.
Thank you, Devin.
Thank you, Devin. Thank you also for that distinction, Devin. It's clarifying my understanding of Isabel's question. So thank you.
Does it change things for you?
I just
What
realized
does the clarity do? Talk to us.
Yeah, like I realized for me, like what I the fear and the anger is like, it's a big question. Like it's almost like a research question that I'm really like, it's my own structured New Yorkie box. And like I just I really am trying to like get out of so much structure. Actually, yesterday I had a chat with Dawe in like a breakout, and this word like wildness came up, and I'm like, you know, he brought it up, and I was like, yeah, like yes to more wildness, like letting go of so much like rigidity and like cagedness that in the way that I hold myself. And yeah, like I think I want to create, or I want to embrace, or like let I don't know, yeah, like embrace more sort of wildness in a way. And also hearing you all talk, I'm like, yeah, I wanted to like embrace like herbalism and being a green witch, and I want to help with the dry compost toilet. That sounds great. And you know, there's so many things that I'm really excited about, so it does fuel me also. And there's something about like creativity and wildness and like non-linearity, like I really like being with the group and the chaos that everyone's like unique being brings to kind of like activate collaborative creation. Like I'm really excited about that, like all the possibilities that happen when you kind of like put everyone in like the bubbling pot together, and like, you know, things are happening. I'm excited to be in that chaotic place of possibility.
Can I ask you something, Jacqueline?
Yes.
So are you excited about doing it? You are excited about doing it. And then when it happens, when you are actually doing it, how, like, what is that? How is that for you? Do you get my
You
question?
froze. I heard when
Okay.
everything froze. I heard when I'm actually doing, and then it froze.
Okay, yeah. So first question is, you are excited right now, yes,
Yes.
about doing it in the future.
Yeah.
And what are you feeling? What is that excitement? What is the feeling?
Yeah, it's a combination of fear and joy.
Okay, would you divide it and say, I feel fear, I feel joy because?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel fear. Yeah, I feel fear that somehow like I won't be enough, and like let myself be creative. I definitely have a story that my like creativity is blocked. I have something up with that, like fear that I will not let myself be free, be wild, be creative, be nonlinear, like contained. And I have fear that like I will not let myself do that, and like almost that like I can't, like a belief that I cannot. And that really scares me. And then the joy is really like the possibility, like I see how much I love being on a team. Like I really love being on a team, and how much like it ignites possibility for me. Like when there's an invitation to like collaborate, and I like to like see that these things coming together to create something new, and they like it's come almost like feels like opening me up, or like inviting me in to kind of crack open, and then to make something bigger than me or the other person. And I feel a lot of joy of that. There's like a physics term that I'm wanting to think of that I don't know what the word is, but it's like fusion, I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, just excited about that. Yeah, whatever this is.
Thank you
Yeah.
for clarifying the excitement. I was just thinking on Maria's sharing about the North American box, and when I'm in contact with North American, I hear a lot. I'm so excited, and the, like this movement of excitement, and and I really asked myself what is behind that excitement. And so are there this joy and fear that you shared right now, is that emotional or is that a feeling?
Good question. The fear is definitely emotional, for sure. That's definitely old. I don't know, the joy feels newer. Like it's almost like I used to have quite a lot of social anxiety, and I'm having this like new thing of like, it's so fun to be in contact with people. I used to be very scared of people. And now I'm like, it's fun. Like I feel joy, like it's something new. Like I feel, yeah, just like new possibility. I feel real. I don't know if it's emotional. It feels something like new for me, to feel like excited to be in connection, co-creating with people.
Yeah.
I want to share something
Thank you, Isabel.
I explored the last week. I have been to a children's choir holiday. Since many years, I come back to this topic, and we went to these vacations with they were between 10 and 13 years old, and I invited them to learn new things and to experiment with things. And most of those kids, teenagers, were already, my assumption is, really screwed up from school. So whenever I invited them to, yeah, let's play, let's experimenting, let's do some things with the arms, I can't. What do you mean by I can't? You have muscles, you can't just move your arms. Yeah, but I have to think about it first. What do you mean you have to think about it? You just can play around. No, I have to think about that. And I really want to empower them to play, and two kids end up in crying. And I was so, oh my God, I really want to be just empowering and invite them to play, and they cried. And they have been confronted with their blockages that come from the fear of making something wrong. And even I said, like, there is nothing you can do wrong. Whatever you do, there is no such thing as wrong. And they didn't get it. And I was really sad about that. and in that moment, and when you said now, Jacqueline, that you have this excitement, but also this fear to learn something new, I just feel that longing. Let us be adults that are role models for our kids and for our teenagers, and that we don't have to look good. And so we find a word. So we had a really nice conversation after this with the kids, and so the suggestion was like, there is a German word like abspacken. So I really can't translate that. Maybe Isabel, if you have an idea about that.
Freaking, something like
Freak
totally
show,
freak
freak
yeah.
show maybe, or just weirdo time, something like that. And they just loved that word, and then they agreed that we have some extra spaces like freak show, weirdo time, and that looking good is not an option, so they could go. And yesterday we had concert, and the small kids have been part of the concert, and I was so amazing to see them. They were between 4 and 7, something like that, and they were even smaller. It's a small choir, so they really have to stand there and go. And the small kids who don't have this, I can fail, I need to be perfect, and not too much feedback, they just run on the stage and we're just singing so loud and with so much joy, and no blocks, no doubts, no fear. And to see what happens to our children, it just made me so sad. So I invite you all being weirdo role models, so that we play, that we just show the world what that means to play, and that not looking good is like a cool thing.
I'm really excited to be, excited, fear and joy. Yeah, really. I feel fear and I feel joy to be, I hope that we're crossing over during the same times together, because I would love to engage in a freak show space with you. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, we have 25 minutes left of this call, and I would love to, yeah, I want to go a few layers deeper. And what would make this space irresistible? What project will make our bridge house something that you are so lighted up to do, that is, it's fueling this creativity? Yeah, what is that thing for you? We've had a lot of things, and maybe one of them, what you have said, is it. But yeah, can we go one layer deeper? What is that?
I'm not sure if I got your question, actually.
Let me
So maybe
try.
say it in different
Yes.
words.
Yeah, I'm wondering what explorations and what projects that we will be doing together, starting now or starting when we're in person, that will make this project something that you're so good. Gosh, I just want to say, like, you can't possibly turn it down. That this thing that you want to create is burning inside you so much that you couldn't possibly not do it. And what is this space offering? Like, yeah, I don't need to go there. But yes, what is something that you couldn't possibly say no to? And maybe you have no idea what that is. And maybe we find some things that come out of it. And it doesn't have to be right or perfect. When we first started, I'll go. When I first started thinking about this, I'm like, I'm going to build a greenhouse and I'm going to make a bunch of pickles. And at first it was just like this little thing of like, oh yeah, I want to do that. And I'm realizing that it's so much more than a small project for me. It's coming to this thing of how am I nourishing myself? How is this relationship with the earth something that I can be feeding through the creation, through the process like of creating pickles of all kinds of vegetables. And there are these hard skills of things that I want to get really good at. And yes, it's the fun and the sense of accomplishment of this task and learning a new skill. But there's some part of my energetic body that longs for this deeper connection to the land. And
Meredith,
yes,
I have a proposal, which is that you close your eyes
Mhm.
and connect with that part of your energetic body, or maybe it's even in your being that has that longing. And then would you speak to us from there? Just practice, just try speaking to us, let that thing speak.
It's really what's coming right now is this wave of sadness
Yep, go.
of all of these years that I've kind of been in this numb little bubble of survival and consuming things from the earth and just taking and not having it being a reciprocal process of giving my love and attention and my life energy to what I need for my life. And I want to create that relationship because I've never had it before. So how can I give and receive from a new loving relationship? And so all of my projects, I'm hoping to find a way that I can discover this for myself.
Thank you.
Thank you for that offering.
Thank you.
I have a logistical thing, which is just that I have to go in 3 minutes. So I will just give a wave when I leave.
Devin, would you go before you leave?
Yeah. Yeah, well, the first thing that I don't know if I can let this speak yet, but I'll try. Yeah, I, I'm longing to be part of I'm longing to be fully inside of a project that is bigger than me. And uh and that um, in my journey in possibility management, I'm coming to terms with something like that. I've spent a lot of time inside possibility management adapting to possibility management, which has meant a lot of my projects in possibility management have been because somebody told me it's a good idea. Um, and I'm what I'm doing as my experiment right now is going where my turn on is, and part of that's what has me say yes without like a lot of reason to the I mean, I have reasons, but I notice I have a yes for the bridge house, and it's not because someone told me to have a yes for it. And when I feel inside me what is there, uh, this is why I love Spaceship Earth, but that's what comes is being really being on a team where I said yes all the way, and I get to be holding hands with a group of people working on something insane, doing some project that's insane because it's like it's uncomfortable. It's bigger than any of us. It's yeah. And I don't know if I have a fear that that's like a fantasy. I feel afraid that this is like a fantasy thing that I'm putting on the bridge house to be that thing, and that's what I want. That's what I want to be a part of. That's what I want to discover how to be a source for. Uh, yeah, and if that didn't happen, I don't think I'd be like, oh, this was a failure. I just that's at the center of my longing.
Thank you, Devin.
Yeah.
Devin.
Thank you,
I'll
Devin.
I don't know if I'll see you on the next call. I'm going to be at Esperanza doing some kind of farming something work, so I'll be off grid. But good luck and see you soon.
See you soon.
Wait a minute. Is that right now it's something that I want, and I'm afraid that I don't know how it is because I don't feel like I have experienced it in the way that I long for, is to be with a presential team and to be walking in a similar direction, to be working together for something. And I have been trying to do this with partners, with romantic sexual partners, and right now I have decided, okay, I'm gonna try something different, and why not try it with the team? Why not be very close to and presentially work with a team? That's all.
Maria, you said to be going in the same direction.
Yes.
Can you say more?
About the direction?
Yeah, I have assumptions and ideas of what that means, but I'd like to hear what that means for you. Do you see a direction that you want to be going in together?
I see a direction that I want to be going in, which is growth. which is becoming more present in my adult, healing my emotions and becoming more available and present in my adult ego state. And holding a radically responsible context.
Thank you.
Are you also going in that direction?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And what is that for you, Maria? This radical responsible. What is to be radical responsible?
To be in that in my state of presence, it's not possible to be a victim. So to heal the victim. That's what's coming up first.
That would be what you're saying right now. That would be adult level of responsibility. Like I take care of my own shit. And what is the radical responsibility?
That I am on your team. I am committed to you growing up as well. I am committed to it being possible that you are a victim.
And how you are doing that? How are you creating that right now? In this team today? This is also a question for the whole team, because everyone said yes right now. How are you creating it right now?
Showing up is coming to me. Showing up in full transparency and like being willing to speak what is really going on for me and to hear from other people, like the feedback. That's what I need to do for me so I can take care of my own shit, so I can show up fully on this team and see and be with what's best for the bigger group. It's actually been a lesson that I've been really looking at over the past week in a breakout in a 3-cell about seeing what is mine, what is someone else's, and what needs to be taken care of, so that way we can feed the team and move it forward into creating whatever it wants to create, like clear out what is hindering it by being truly vulnerable. That's what's coming up for me right now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know how it goes. if I'm just being honest, yeah, I want to be on this path. And yeah, I'm not sure how it goes. How does it to be radically responsible, to hold spaces in a radically responsible way?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel so much fear hearing your question. So thank you for asking it. And
Here because
I don't know how it goes. I don't, yeah, I feel like I don't have clarity on, yeah, I have this idea of what it means to be radically responsible. And
and what is the idea?
Hmm.
What is the idea? What does it mean for you?
I work a lot with victim stories, and in that I often make myself a victim. And right now for me, it's bringing the awareness to what's going on without trusting these stories that are happening, and without letting those run the show for me.
Would you say more about the stories? What stories do you have right now?
One that's coming up is you asking these questions. I'm like, oh wow, I would never get there. Oh wow, that's not something I thought of. And so what's coming up is these like, oh, I'm not good enough to be in the spaces, and I'm not going to be able to hold the quality of space like you. And so what, hearing that, and it's okay.
Okay. So what a feeling is that, Meredith?
Fear, and it's an emotional fear.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. So
Thank you. So what I assume is that it's almost impossible that every single person to every single time in every single situation has the capacity to be radically responsible. And so that's cool that we are a team. And that I'm really trusting that at least one person can hold space for the radical responsibility and navigate the space. And what I realized so far in these calls is that we are all really very, very different. And when I hear the questions, the different questions and the different navigation of you all, I feel a lot of joy, because we all have so different qualities and wisdom. And I see you coming up in different situations and going to different spaces. And I find myself sometimes in, oh my God, she's asking these questions I never came up with, or oh, that was just a smart move he did, and I wouldn't have come to that point, and I don't have to. And I also see my specialty. And sometimes I think like, why I always come up with this specialty, and is that not boring for the others, or I bore myself or whatever? And but when I think about it, it's kind of a logic that we have a super skill, a superpower, something that we specifically bring in. And in that team, maybe no one else bring that in, and no one else could ask this question or bring up this proposal or whatever. And that is the core and the power of the team, that we appreciate ourselves with our power and appreciate the difference of others' power, and that we can trust in a radical responsible context hold by every single person of us, but maybe not in every single situation. But that doesn't matter. Yes, as as long as we have at least one person that is aware of what that means in this moment, to be radical responsible and navigate with heart and sword, we are on track.
Thank you, Dorothea.
Thank you.
We're almost at time, and I want to answer Meredith's question about what would make this bridge house irresistible to me. And I have so little clarity on right now on why this moves me so much, but just when I started feeling into it, this image of sharing maps with each other came to me. And yeah, so thank you, Jacqueline. So to navigate, I think what would make it irresistible to me would be to navigate as a team these liquid
Hi.
spaces
Hi,
of
Danny. Hi, Beth.
these liquid spaces of a training space, and somehow just to have the really next culture village of a training space here around me. And then the second thing that really moved me was this morning Meredith and I were cleaning out some of the closets here, and just finding people's old clothes not even put away properly, but just piles of clothes in the closet, and the irresponsibility of that was really really impacted me. And so the second thing that really moves me right now is having is being stewards, is really being stewards of a place with a team.
Being what?
Stewards, guardians, caretakers.
Thank you.
Yeah, to really properly care and be in connection with a space, with a land.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Howard.
Thank you, Dawe. So we are at time, and I know many of us didn't get to share. I'm wondering if you will write if there was something more you wanted to share. Was there more anyone wanted to share who didn't get to?
No, thank you for asking.
Okay.
There's so much that I have to share with you. It's not time anymore. I have a meeting as well. So
Okay. Thank you so much. And we'll message about the next space holder and time.
Thank you.
Okay. See you
Bye,
next
everyone.
week.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.